I was working as a teacher before, getting paid 10K per month. After like I think two projects, gave me like 50. Damn! Fintech, I'm doing it. Agri tech, I'm doing it. When you are getting started at something, the worst thing you want to do is niching at first. So I basically just built from 7 to like 12 every single day.
Hey, dreamers and action takers, welcome to the Designers Diaries podcast, a show where we learn from designers, creatives, and entrepreneurs on a mission. In today's episode, we speak with Manuel Ogomigo, a once upon a time UX designer, now full time indie hacker. You'll learn how to quit your job and chase your ideas, how being an apprentice can speed your growth as a designer, how to deal with imposter syndrome, and much, much more. So, remember to leave a like and comment your biggest takeaway. With that said, let's get into it. Hey everyone, how you doing? Today is a great day because we're having a podcast episode today, and with us is Manuel Ogomigo, who is a webflow expert, a designer by day, maker by night, who we have turned into a full-time maker by day and night. So yeah, he's taking the industry by storm this year, and we're having him here before he blows up and goes to space. So yeah, that's it. I'll let him introduce himself and we'll continue to talk more.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm Manuel. Manuel. I'm based in Nigeria, and I'm a UX designer by day, maker by night. Right. I starting out as a UX designer. I've always wanted to not just be in the creative space, but rather be like in the creator aspect of things. Right. So I took on no code tools, building stuff, and yeah, building. Then I started building web apps for clients across Europe and America, and at night building my own stuff. And luckily, I'm basically full time now, building my stuff full time. And yeah, that's I don't know if that's a good intro, but yeah, that works.
Yeah, that works. Then by next year you have a bigger one to share,
Yeah, that
or
works.
even before next year ends, probably. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really excited to have you here. This is something we've been planning for a while now, and bro, it's an honor to have you here. I know how busy you are, so um, yeah, let's just start from. I think it's better we start from the beginning, like before before the earth was even round, it was flat and everything. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. How did this your creative journey start? How did you have the flair to be able to read documentations without falling asleep, unlike me? So like, how did it happen?
Yeah. So I would say I discovered ChatGPT. But yeah, it was. I would say it's more or less like I've been seeing tools that people are building, especially with no code tools. While as my second year as a UX designer, I tried WordPress, didn't really work out for me, right? So I started basically just focusing on Webflow. Because I've been learning that on the side, right? So I started with that and started learning, practicing building websites and building some simple stuff, like some simple stuff with code. And mind you, like I said, I'm a UX designer, so I don't really know how to code, right? I don't really, so what I did
Yeah.
instead was learn. So learn in the sense where I take out documentation, like read out documentation, try to understand everything regarding it, practice, and even though my code, like some developer will say spaghetti code, one thing, one thing I would say that has improved the process a lot is ChatGPT, right? So not just me just learning and reading all this documentation, but now I can like
Mm-hmm.
craftfully ask ChatGPT exactly what I want to do, like based on what I've learned. And now if I see the code from ChatGPT, I know, oh yeah, this part is wrong. Here's where I need to make changes, like without me trying to fix out bugs and all those stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much I would say where the whole India can start because I was trying so much not to start learning a whole new tool. You get it? Like start learning like a whole new tool, like learning Bubble all from scratch while I already have an idea with Webflow. Right. But now there are cool tools now, like Wiz, MemberStack, and all those stuff that's still integrated with Webflow. Right. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's that's pretty much it, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Like, um, man, I still have more questions regarding starting out, but like, what you said about how would I put this? What you
Okay.
said about not learning a new tool but focusing on Webflow one, and also using ChatGPT, because I realized that when I was learning how to code in November, I cannot
Yeah.
code something fully on my own, but it has helped me understand some patterns. Like, oh, I can debug my code by myself. I can know what's wrong. I can know like, oh, this is not working. Something's wrong. So that has helped me notice with living better. But that's those cool stuff. And now, what I'm even more curious about is like, this your journey to UX design or design, or like, where do you start from? Were you always this child that loved designing when you were young, or you were drawing? I'm just curious, like, because every designer has this diverse where they found design. So I'm just like, where did your own start from?
Yeah. Well, I would say I've always been an artistic person, right? I draw, I sing, I try to play instruments, right? And so it's most like stairs up from that, like me designing stuff. Though I cannot draw again, like all of us, we used to draw when we were small. But yeah, so I would say most likely because I started out also like learning Corel Draw. Because my idea at that time was, okay, let me be honest with you. I don't even know Danko. Is it Danko? No, not Danko. This guy, Dan, coming. Danko is Danko now. Is it Danko?
Yeah, the one that does
Yeah,
video
Danko.
Photoshop that time.
No, it's
That
not Danko.
later, okay, okay. What's the story? I mean, know him. There are many dance in this
Dan,
world.
there's a particular guy. There's, yeah, there are so many guns. There's a particular guy, right, that usually guys will tell you ice skin net what, ice skin net what, ice skin net what, ice skin net what. He was really like big on that. Name starts with Dan. I forgot to share. So one thing I
Mm.
was doing then was like I would go through his and look for like high skill income skill, right? That I can downlock. Yeah, that's his name. Downlock.
Down low.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
So I was like
So,
looking for wait, what high skill, yeah, what high income skill can I learn? At that time from his list, I saw graphic design, I saw UX, I saw web design. So I was still in primary school. I have no idea of like what any of those stuff mean, but I know graphic design deals with Corel, I play with like computer at school, right? So I basically
yeah.
started from there, drawing out, like taking an image, turning it, designing the same thing in CorelDRAW, designing flyers, those kind of stuff. I was not making money yet, but just doing it and showing my friends. I'm like, wow. Like I'll take your picture and convert it to cartoon, right? Like realistic cartoons. You won't really even know that it's. I was like, wow, wow, wow. So, but it wasn't giving me any money. But I would say like, the moment I got to
Okay.
know about UX was the moment I got to know about UX was when I was in church with Bro Robbie Anayo, right? So he was always like after church, probably client. Now I understand why he's even after church he's working. Client choke him. So I would see him in his laptop. I'll be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" He will like explain. Then him explain. I'll go back home, read about it. Then start practicing. I installed Adobe XD at that time. So if I show you my first design, it was ugly. But yeah, I'll just basically design it right there and practice, practice, practice. Then at one time when I was free and I was like I doing my IT. So instead of me going to doing the IT, actually just reach out to Obi and tell him like, hey bro, I'm actually free now. Can I come to your house every day? I think three times. I think I was going for like 3 to 4 times a week, going to his house. And the only thing I was doing there is just on my PC, watch what he's doing. Like just basically see everything he's doing, the way he handle clients, the way he talk to client. Like those early moments make me really understand a lot of stuff. Negotiation. I've been reading about it. Do you really know how that work? Like interviews, you get like pitching ideas to
Mhm.
clients, all those kind of like working with teams and all those stuff, right? Those stuff really shaped and also the kind of tasks. I'll see this guy be having 3 meetings at once with 3 different companies. Then I know that yeah, this stuff don't be beans. You get so I would say those
That
those
was,
parts were like everything that like shaped me, yeah, right? From like those early aesthetics moments to me finding out, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to solve problems. And from solving problems, you learning UX and be like, okay, I don't just want to solve problems. I want to build solutions. And now basically building tools that will basically solve those problems that I found myself. Yeah,
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. I think it's something. As I'm hearing your story now, from primary school where you picked up Corel Draw to doing your IT with bro Obi Anayo, right? And like
yeah,
one thing I could pick out was that you
yeah,
had this curious attributes where you ask questions, you go back and learn more about
yeah,
it. You see something, you try it out. Like that curiosity, like is it's not something you see common. You know, it's not common. Why people are I have this habit to where I'll
yeah,
ask questions and I'm like, okay, guide me. There's a time I was like that. I'll ask questions, keep asking questions, and I won't go back to implement. And but like
yeah.
I'm really a bit of being more curious. You know, I'm growing up now, so we have to also love. But like I find it very interesting, and it's that's dope. That's dope. Like curiosity. That's like major points there. So the early days when I started learning UX design, from there, let's backtrack from that point there. You said you were doing apprenticeship with Baraobi, and
Yeah.
that was like the first, what's it called?
Okay.
The first world experience to UX design. From there, how did it grow from there? Like how was it like? What's what were you focusing on? Because when people are starting out, they were focusing on, oh, I want to pick a niche. I think I'll do Web3, I'll do Web2, I'll do Web1, or I'll do dashboard designs or fintech. How was it like for you? You know?
Man, me, I was just flowing where the wind leads me. Did I even know what Web3 is at that time? At that moment, there was no niching. You know, when you are getting started at something, right? The worst thing you want to do is niching at first, right? Rather, what you want to be is be a generalist. At least understand everything. Like you're just coming into UX, right? And the only aspect you want to come into UX to understand is just the visual aspect of design, right? If they're talking UX, you have no idea. You have no idea what heuristics means. You have no idea. All you just know is just you can use tools, you can draw wireframes, right? It won't really help you in the long run. But you having the idea of all those stuff and then saying you want to focus on this one. Because the way I see nation more or less like you've tested the feeds and you realize that okay, this is where my strength is, or this is where I want to build my base, right? Not just that you just come and just be like, I want to build my base here. Like, what if 2 years down the line you realize you'd be much better off if you were like doing research, or you are just basically based on icons. You won't really know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those this thing. So at that point I wasn't really like I said, like any project that Obi sent, or Obi like she'll share that, hey bro, we're doing this stuff, I'm doing it fintech, I'm doing it agri tech, right? I don't really ask question like, oh, this is not my niche, oh boy. Man, I just want to learn and build stuff. So agri tech, fintech, building dashboard. I don't really care. All I just need to understand is what problem we are solving, the users, like all those questions, right? I'll just start building. Just start designing these flows, design wireframes. No, at that time itself, I have no idea what research is, right? So just basically the knowledge I've gotten from either a brief, not a design brief, where PM will write
Mm-hmm.
without them even still understanding what users want. But yeah, so I'll just basically use from that and convert everything to design, convert the flows, all those stuff, right? So that was at that point there was really no, even to now I still don't have a niche for UX, right? I would say that bring any UX stuff, any UX problem, as long as it's a UX problem, you are not having users. All of them, despite the niche, all of them have similar issues
Mm-hmm.
that UX could solve. So yeah, so
Yeah, the same design patterns and everything. Jacob
yeah,
Nielsen law.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So that's dope. That's dope. It's curious because I see like you had this learner's mindset where you just wanted to learn. We're not picky and stuff. And sometimes I always wonder if I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to like this my story and see how did I approach mine at that point in time and stuff. I'm still early in my journey, basically like 2 years or 1.5 or something. But yeah, that's awesome. Hello. This podcast episode is sponsored by me. Yes, that's right. The Designer's Diaries is a show on a mission to educate designers and creatives through stories and experience of those ahead of us in this journey. Yeah, you break limiting beliefs, dream bigger, and channel that energy to grow in your desired areas. Currently, we have a weekly newsletter which you will find in the first link in the description below. Please click it, subscribe, it's free. Expect weekly letters from me every Sunday. Also, if you're to subscribe to the channel or follow me wherever you listen to this podcast, please do so. Click that subscribe button down below. With all that said, let's get back to the show. Now, let's go from there. How did you break into UX? I know you were doing apprenticeship, you were doing internship with him. How did you break into UX, getting the first job and um, calling yourself a product designer and scaling from there? Because for me, um, trying to give a
Yeah.
context to my questions because I couldn't call myself a product designer for the first 2 years I was learning product design because I have not gotten a job in product design. I've only been learning it, but I have not done product design work for in a professional way. So how was it like for you scaling to actual being an actual product designer? If that makes sense.
So I would say one thing that helped was at those early points, right? I was working on real projects, right? Because I was working with Obi. So at those early points, I was working on real life projects. Like the project I'm working on, I actually put it that there are real people behind it. So it's not just a test or a mock project that Obi will just be like, hey, let's work on this. Right? It's more like, hey, okay, we have this project, we need to build this stuff in 2 weeks. This is a real client. You get so those stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
like I said, also me watching him and do those conversation or him doing those stuff make me actually get like give me that foundation regarding what it would take for me to be a product designer, right? Or what it take for me to be a UX designer outside him. So even when my like my IT expired, like finished, and I stopped going to his side. One thing I did heavily was keep on practicing, like on fake projects. Keep on practicing on fake projects, building, like applying for roles, but also like still keep on like improving what I've learned already, right? So it was there will always be, one thing we need to know is that when you are when you're a beginner, imposter syndrome, as long as you are learning, is somehow something like you don't want to, like, it will always be there, but you don't want to pay too much attention in it, right? Because imposter really just donate that you don't belong here. But someone learning is learning to fit in, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
you are basically learning to be better at what you are doing. So I would say, if I say I didn't face imposter syndrome, I'm lying. Like I face it every day, but it's not something where I try to keep in, like, place much value upon, because I know I'm trying to get better each day, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like that's the way I really approach it. So even applying for roles, there are some roles obviously that are way beyond what you can do, and there are roles where they seem like they are way beyond, but it's something that you can do, right? So yeah.
Yeah, sure. Sure. I'm trying to think of a better word to call this imposter syndrome because I think anybody at any stage in their journey will face it. So far they are trying to learn and get better. So I think if you call it learner syndrome, where this is the feeling you have when you're learning something new and you're not sure about what you're doing yet. It's make everything feel better because the word imposter is just like it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. When it's a normal thing to feel. But yeah, you made a great point. So the next step is about time management because I know there's a point in time where you said something about within 2 weeks you're working on a project to finish it and all. Like that's impressive, and I know how long because I know how long it takes for a project to work out. Sometimes, of course, someone can be faster, but like there are so many processes involved. What's the brief? Oh, I will do this, feedback and everything. So, how's your like time management skills evolved over
Hmm.
time? How, because I know there's a time being a product designer by day, UX by day, maker by night. Time management is important there too. To be able to like keep everything in touch. How was it like?
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know, how was that part like? Mhm.
Yeah. So let me just say it like this. One thing I tried to do at like while starting out was pretty much not shoot myself in the foot. So what I mean is, in as much as I was trying to improve myself as a builder, right? I know I'll be making purchase like extra. I'll be drawing in expenses, right? I'm paying for Wayflow. I'm paying for other tools, right? So the best bet for me at that time, pending when I will be like my ideas will be monetizable, is to keep on working. And keeping on and like working requires at least 12 hours or 8 to 12 hours, right? Um, every day except weekend. So what I do basically, which is why I coined that name Maker at Night, is that I basically just build from I end my work at 6. So I basically just build from 7 to like 12, right? Like just build every single day. Sometimes longer than that. Sometimes it could be 4 hours again if there's light. Because of NEPA, right? So NEPA sometimes
Mm-hmm.
influence those stuff. But yeah, like basically do that, and even on weekends. There's so for weekends I basically build throughout all day. Like for example, now that I'm not really working like a full time media car, so I basically like just build all day, test stuff all day, right? And that's what I basically do on weekend. And to be honest, time management isn't really at the point where I was starting and just building stuff. Time that was pretty simple because I know that okay, once it is done, the only thing on my mind is this. I'm not really worrying about with your clients. Yes, because I don't have any. I don't have any at that time. So I'm not really worrying about them. So the only thing on my mind is finish company work, which is UX, build my stuff, right? So that was how it was. So I'd say the whole stuff shambles when I started having inflows of Webflow clients that I'm working with. So that means instead of me working from 7 to 12, I would then have to work from maybe like from work on Webflow client from like 7 to like 10 p.m. Then 11 12 to my project, right? So but yeah, it's a good thing because now it means that there's more funds for me to fund my like me building stuff online,
Mm-hmm.
right? But yeah, time management is
Yeah.
basically the way I approach that. And even though I want to stress that someone should sleep well, I have not been doing that in the past few weeks, which is bad. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. The point you made, which was interesting about how you work almost 18-hour days or something, was like Alex Moses will say like at the beginning they do what it takes. Then as you now grow, like okay, I can prioritize my sleep now. I can be healthy and stuff. But in the beginning, like bro, health, So it's it's that obsessive trait which I like. It's pretty dope. But yeah, that's one day. Time management. Was there any time management tricks or strategies you applied then, like time boxing, Pomodoro technique, or you're just like, this is the dogs. I'm going to read it. I'm going to understand it. How did you approach
oh my,
others?
now you know that
Making your
one.
brain work.
Yeah, and at that time, yeah, all I just know is I have to prioritize my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And also prioritize the project because some of this stuff at times can like for example I said I'm working full time as a UX designer. I'm not a UI designer, UX, which means that I do research. I talk to customers. I go out sometimes to do research. Right, I'll come back, sketch out what I've done, um try to analyze, synthesize the data, and provide the insights to the product team. And like, yeah, this is the solution. This is the reason why we are falling behind in sales. This is the reason why customers are dropping off. Here's what we need to do. This is a product problem. This is a marketing problem. Not those kind of stuff. So imagine doing all
Mm-hmm.
of that and then coming back and you're trying to solve particular. You're trying to build a. You are not, and you are not a developer. You're trying to do something with develop that deals with code.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine that coming back and trying to do so those stuff sometimes mess me up, right? And I would
Mm.
say the best way I approach it is sometimes I'll just sleep over it and just be like, okay, let me just do the ones that are not really requiring such intensity,
Brain
and
work.
I'll
Yeah.
just basically do them. Then the next day, funny enough, I don't know if this is how it works for developers, but the next day you have a new view regarding the problem you were facing earlier on, and you can now solve it even now way much faster. So
Yeah,
it's just one of
yeah,
those stuff, right? Like, but I didn't really have a time management scheme I was following. All I'm just trying to do at that is like prioritize my brain, right? Because it can get overwhelming easily. Prioritize my brain, but at still most get the job done.
yeah. Get the job done. That's the
Yeah,
best opportunity hack ever. Get the work done. It's that simple. So yeah, awesome work, bro. Like I think many people over amplify, like this is what I do to get myself time. This is this. You do 25 minutes here, then 5 minutes here. Like, bro, can you work for 5 hours straight? Do it. So like it's that kind of thing. But I get what you mean, and yeah. So we talk about time
yeah,
management and all. So I don't know if you are down for this, but there's something I was looking at how my freelance journey I started, because for me now it's as if I'm mostly a freelancer that got a job that's still a freelancer. My own journey is very weird, which I'm still trying to analyze it and reflect on it. But I was saw someone's post today on status and WhatsApp status, and they were like, "What was your first job?" And she was like, well done, boy, good boy, good boy." Like, what was your first salary? Good boy. Like that was basically said. Like, you get the joke, right? You get the joke. I don't know if you get the joke. I can't. I
yeah,
don't know if I can
yeah,
find it. But the idea was like, when you're working for somebody, people always expecting to work for free, and that's how you start from there. Now I know you're doing apprenticeship with Barbara and Ayo, so I'm not expecting that we're getting paid in dollars and stuff. But like, ranging from there, how would you say
nah.
your income trajectory
So
has
I'll be
grown
I'll be
as
honest
a?
with you, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you, yeah. When I was working with Obi, because I'm learning, I've been working because I was working as a teacher before, getting paid 10K per month, earlier on, right? So when I was working with Bro B, and after like I think two projects, on the third one, he gave me like 50K. And to be honest, in that project, I didn't really do anything. Like I said, I'm basically learning, right? What I did is just design some dashboard and give me like 50K. Like I was like happy, like damn. Like that's like when I was working as a teacher, that's like my 5 months salary. Like damn. So I was so happy, and then ending him paying me like 100, 150, 200 to design some product. Like those stuff really changed my mindset quickly regarding money. Right. Like it's something that's possible. I would say it's like I said, I will explain this. Like me learning under him, I didn't really think about hey, this guy will pay me one day, right? Because I'm already taking enough from him. Just being there, asking questions, seeing him do stuff is already like way too much. You get, but yeah, like others will say, the best way you can learn is get paid or do this thing. But to be honest, here, some people have contrary opinions to this, so they'll tell you, as an intern, you need to be paid. You need to be paid. To be honest, if you want to learn, right? I don't think you should be paid to learn. If you are paid to do work, if they're hiring as an intern to work, like you already know the skill, but they're hiring to do work as an intern on intern level basis, like intern level basis where you are not given so many responsibilities, then they should pay you obviously. But if you are being hired to learn, or someone taking you like take you in to learn a skill, right? You shouldn't be paid for that, right? I don't think it's fair enough. But I think the issue comes in when company be like, we want to hire an intern with 4 years experience. Like, bro, like, bro, 4 years experience, and you will not be we are not paying him anything, or even 2 years experience. Like a person that has been an intern for 2 years, like, bro, like, what do you think is in the past 2 years? You get, you get. So those kind of stuff you have to pay him because he's already gotten the knowledge and all those stuff, sha. So that's just the
Mm-hmm.
way I think.
Totally agree.
That's just the way I think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was actually this topic about payment and stuff. I want people to be more comfortable about talking about money in the ecosystem, design, creative world because not many people know the potential that is there and they keep like, oh, low targeting themselves. I remember when I first started like a
Yeah,
freelance project and I charged like this amount and I was like, he said okay. I was surprised, like, what the fuck, So like, you just keep breaking beliefs. And thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate you sharing that. Um I think we've talked
yeah,
about payment already and income and growth and stuff. Let's see. I think since we're coming to an end quickly, I would like to let's talk about what you're working on now. You quit your job. You were working as a full-time UX designer, the maker by night. Now you've gone into a maker full-time now.
yeah,
You were a UX designer full-time previously. Now you are a full-time maker. You're UX designer full-time by day, maker by night. Now you're full-time maker by day and night. And yeah, you made the leap.
yeah,
Yeah, going all in. How was it like? How was the jump? What's how do you see it was like? Yeah.
yeah. It's scary.
Maybe your network right now.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. Yeah, it's something that would definitely come one way or the other. I don't know if you can see me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's something that will come obviously one way or the other, right? Um, it's something that I know that at what points, right? I will always like to live here and do that. But one thing I would say is right now I have all the time to be soft, to travel, to basically move or do anything I want to do, right? Experiment, just keep on experimenting, building stuff, as well as collaborate and try a lot of stuff with people,
Man.
right? Why this
Okay,
might
I think.
seems like this
Mm-hmm.
might feel like tons of free time, right?
Yeah.
I think there's way more responsibility now, right? Because this is basically now rely on like my livelihood source of income right now. Like either India can work or I thrive as a Webflow freelancer,
Webflow.
right?
Yeah.
Because one of them was work, sha. I'm basically placing a lot of risks on it, right? And I think anything about life is risks, basically. Like you just taking those risks, you don't really know. Like you could fail or not, but you taking those risks is what like really matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's more like a risk play, where one of them was work. Either I make money selling my products, or I make money as a web freelancer, right? And worst case scenario is, in fact, I don't want to have a worst case scenario. There's no plan B.
Okay.
There's no plan B. It must work, right? We keep on.
Mm.
Basically, my plan just basically keep on experimenting till one of them work is exceptionally well, right?
Yeah.
And like I
That.
said, since now it's more indie hacking, so I'll be trying a lot of stuff. A product might not work, the next one would work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
You keep
yeah,
shipping. You ship fast. Ship fast, like McLeod say. So now I have a question. So before we talk about the projects you're
okay,
building and all, I want to know like what questions did you ask yourself before you took the leap? Because I have been in a scenario before where I was like, I think I should go all in, but like I wasn't ready. I wasn't sure. What did you keep in mind? What was the question you asked yourself? Okay, was this yes, yes, no? Was it fulfilled? Was it this? Like because when I'm talking to my friends now, and some of them are like, "Are you fulfilled with what you're doing?" If you're not fulfilled, quit. It's fulfillment is not the only thing that like you have to keep our livelihood and so much more. So, what questions did you ask yourself before like you took the like, okay, I think I can make the bets to make this work. I can
okay,
take the risk. What questions did you ask yourself? So anybody that's about to quit their job or think about it can ask themselves too.
yeah. So one of the first thing is how long can I sustain myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Without the job. So mind you, I'm currently paying like yearly fee on Webflow on member stack, right? Like how long can I stay paying those fees? Um, Without me getting a new job. Like if I don't make any sale or I don't get a new job or anything, right? Those one like some people say like a safe box or something. those were some of the stuff I thought about, right? And I would say one of the main reasons why I also um basically focused on this was at some point I was making like my whole annual salary on a project, right? On the workflow project, right? So it doesn't really make sense for me to keep on now in terms of financial reasons, right? It doesn't really make sense for me to keep on um continuing this path as a UX designer where I could focus heavily on workflow and reap the result of that intensity, right? So I would say those are some of the aspects of what I think regarding it. Like, and one thing I will also say is weighing your options. Like, if you are living, how would you get job? Right? It's not just an action where you just wake up one day and feel like, yeah, I just want to live. Right? Like, how will you get job? What are your plans? Like for me, my plans is not to dust my CV or resign my portfolio and start looking for job, right? That's not the reason why I resigned. Like I really love where I'm working, right? The reason I resigned basically is I want to build stuff, right? I want to build stuff. I want to share what I'm building with the world. I want to get feedback. I want to improve it,
I want to make money.
and in that process, making money as well.
Did I hear that? Did you?
Yep.
Are you hear me now? Okay. As we were talking, I was like, I
Yeah, I
want to
can
make
hear you. I
money.
can
So
hear you.
like, so I did it. It's like a joke, but yeah, making money is important. So, well, that's um, that's definitely something to keep in mind. Like, what's the main purpose? Because I have this quote that I write in my newsletter every week. If you stay true to your purpose, you'll never go astray. And since you want to build stuff, like I'm sure you're definitely going to build some stuff this year.
Hmm.
Now, I know you're already building stuff already. I know what the second one is, but for those who don't even know anything about you or what you're building, what are the products you're building currently? What are you making full time now?
Yeah, so I'm currently building Flow scripts. Basically, a tool where for developers could add functionalities to their site without writing code, all right? And we're building that for some months now, and recently building some tools like Flow Drive. So in Webflow, so there's usually a problem where you want to upload, like you're building a form in Webflow and you want to add where users can sign a signature, or they want to be able to pretty much upload. So Webflow have that feature, but it's by you have to pay extra for it, right? So the plan is to build it to where they can do that easily without paying extra for file upload feature. So you could have that in form, right? Those are just the two tools, and I'll say on the other end also building a script. I would say the next product after this one, which is like a JSON mapper. So for rendering HTML elements from an API response easily, right? So that's basically everything I'm building right now. And on the other side, I'm building design with Gaga, building Studio Duo with Akim
Akim.
and Eniayo Bamdele, also building Rena UI with the revision team. So yeah, pretty much amazing stuff right now. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things going on. That's really that's epic per se. I see you started posting more often on Twitter and the likes. What are your plans for social media this year?
Mhm. Oh boy, let's take it serious. Oh. Take it serious, man. Ah, God, take it like really serious. I would say while building flow scripts, 90% of my sales has been from social media, Reddit specifically, right? Like that's where I could track them, right? And my plan is to basically take social media serious, right? So on Reddit, on Twitter, on TikTok, right? So I know one thing regarding marketing is like spreading awareness, sharing it a lot, being people faces, right? And if I'm building, I think the same thing applies to literally everyone that is building stuff, right? Either you are building your portfolio or you are building yourself as a UX designer or as a YouTuber. Is that like you just being where your users want to see you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing in which I've noticed, and I'm trying as much as possible to do that as well. So posting every day, like be more on the active part of social media because I'm way more into that passive part as well before, right? I'm just passive. I see a post I like, I scroll. I see a post, oh yeah, this is funny, I scroll. Oh, this informative bookmark, scroll. Right. But now I want to be more or less like also doing those stuff that someone will see and be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh yeah, cool, like follow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much taking it serious a lot this year.
Mm, that's that's awesome. Before I ask you one of the final questions, I have a question of myself that I want to ask you. So I've been thinking about how I'm going to approach some things going forward this year.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, my plan this year was like I want to focus on the design business, probably build a studio around it. I have my friends work on projects together and scale that indefinitely. Then I realized that I think I've not. It's as if while I know it's not compulsory, as if everybody needs to go through the phase of learning, earning, scaling, and the likes. And my phase of learning was somehow short. I don't know if I'm a fast learner or I'm rushing things, and who knows? Like I basically have free time, so I only work a job and I'm not in school, that kind of stuff. Now, my question for you is, what I have in mind right now is to build a do a 100-day challenge on Webflow and design. I did something like that previously, like last year, November, October, December, like October, November, December, where I learned how to code. Now I want to focus on no code and design and get better at it very well. And I'm thinking of a 100-day challenge. And the end goal is that
Oh, okay.
at the end of the challenge, I'll become a Webflow expert, a Firma expert, maybe, but mostly on Webflow. That's the goal. I would build like four projects for my portfolio. It can be concept work, but the full-fledged websites, landing pages, and stuff. And yeah, I'll also document every day on social media, mostly YouTube, and make summaries on other platforms and well. And it felt like a very good idea. Then I was like, I talked to ChatGPT about it today. It was like, okay, not a bad idea and stuff. Wait, this going to our plans for world domination. Like use ChatGPT to now I was like, okay, you hearing me now? What do you think is wrong with the plan? Perhaps you can like grill me, like, oh, this idea is terrible. Nah, 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 don't do like this. Do this way or something like. Can you feel me? Do you feel me?
So if you're saying for 100-day challenge, like to be honest, there's nothing wrong with that. You just have a goal in mind, like what I trying to achieve, what I trying to do, right? And basically do that for 100 days. If you can do that for 100 days, then it actually shows consistency, shows that you are willing to improve, right? So I don't think there's anything, but I think the issue with the 100 days challenges, some people take it more or less so like on the really basic level. So it doesn't really look as though like even after the 100 days like they improve at all,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's something you might want to avoid. So I would say you sketch out your plan properly. Like, what are you looking to avoid? What are you looking to like achieve at the 100 days? Right? Do you want to be able to do like what does it mean for you for you to be an expert in Webflow? To you, like what does it mean to you? Right? Is it that you can build any layouts, or is it that you can build any interactions in Webflow, or you can play with code in Webflow? Right? Those kind of questions would help shape what you want to do in those 100 days. But to be honest, I think it's fair enough. There are several people doing that for design and also icons, typography, right? Right. I would say just put in your best because for the 100 days, that means you have to put in work every single day, right? Which is a lot of commitment, right? And people doing it is amazing, right? And I don't really think there's anything wrong with it for real.
Yeah. Yep. I like what you said about what's the end goal. What does an expert look like to me? Because when I did it last year, like towards the ending January, I started from October, November, December, okay, November, October. No, I just started this, and one thing I realized was that at the end of the day, if
Yeah.
I'm given a design to turn to code, can I do it? Of course, I can do it, but the process will be very boring. I didn't enjoy it, and I don't think I want to take a career path with it. So luckily for me, I diverted. I found no code, and I was learning how to use no code, and here I am today. Well, one thing, yeah, the question about what you said about what does an expert look like, what does an expert mean to me? Yeah, I didn't think about that much, so I think I'll keep that in mind more. I'll follow up with you on that, and perhaps I can plan better for that. But that's a good one. And yeah, I think before we call it a day or a podcast, one more question I have for you is I plan to have more guests on this podcast coming forward, probably like once every month, or I'm
Yeah.
not so sure how I'm gonna do it,
Sure,
but
now you be
honestly,
guaranteed.
like
Yeah.
so I want you to ask a question for the next guest. Since you're like the first of the series now, what question would you want to ask the next guest?
Okay. Mm, what's our current revenue like? So Nigeria will come from there.
Current revenue. What if the person is more like a designer, not an entrepreneur? Like
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
it
I'll
could
I'll,
be
I'll
your
ask.
salary or something. Like, how much do you make monthly?
Okay, yeah. Let's see. Let's see how that will go. I'm
Yeah.
curious, but
Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, so this is pretty cool. I'm really glad you had to you. I'm really glad you have me on this, right? I'm be the first person.
Yeah, I'm sure that by next year you'll be in a better position with flow script and everything you're building. Maybe you build like maybe 20 other stuff that's
Yeah,
grew or field and stuff like. Well, man, well, I see the potential of what you're doing, and I really appreciate you joining me for this.
yeah.
Um,
She's
what
Jeff.
else? What other? What do I want to say again? Yeah, I think before you go, I think the idea of designer's diary, just to give you an idea, is like we focus on design, creativity, and entrepreneurship. So people who do any of those three or all of those three, and you, like, I think you're the first person that does all of those three. So keep up the amazing work. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching and listening to the end. I'm glad you're seeing value in this. Don't worry, I've got more interesting guests coming up soon. All I ask for you is to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. It gets better, I promise.